Thank you for joining me live. I don't know where you are. I am in Maui, Hawaii, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning my time. Winter hasn't quite hit us yet. We have a little bit of the rainy season, but definitely it's hunting season. And I happen to own this awesome shoe store called If the Shoe Fits, where I sell the Danner brand of boots. I do their work boots, their military line, their hunting boots, and they also offer a selection for women. So I have quite a big selection. If you happen to miss my Danner review yesterday on work boots, be sure to check on my storefront for Amazon Live and you'll be able to see the full review there. And I also post my Amazon Lives on my YouTube channel as a repost later. So if you miss anything or if you want to see the whole comprehensive show, you can join me there. Teri Edmonds is my name. I am a shoe professional, have been for over 20 years. I am Maui, Hawaii's only shoe cobbler and shoe repairer. I make shoes. I guess I'm the shoe lady. I was actually standing in a bank line one time and someone said, "Hey, you're the shoe lady." Yeah, it's Teri. Anyway, so I also want to touch base. I'm going to be talking about some great boots and some really great products today for you guys. And if you are trying to find any of these products, you can either go to teriedmonds.com, click the Amazon button on the front page, and that will take you to my Amazon shopping cart. And I prepared this just for you. So we have different categories. I happen to have the Danner boots, and I have a nice choice, some of my favorite boots from Danner. And I'm also going to be adding some of the supplies to it. So in case you happen to miss that now, or if you don't catch it today, I'll have a link to that list. All right, so I guess let's just get started. So I'm very excited. We're gonna start with one of the boots that I've carried for a very long time called the Pronghorn. And this is the Danner Pronghorn. This is the newest version of it. I've carried it in the camouflage, which was a good boot. It had a nice wide toe base. This also does. I think it's a little sleek looking. I really like that. That's why I chose this one in particular. So I'll give you guys a closer picture of that. Isn't that nice? It's a real solid boot. I'll let you take a look at the sole. Has a really nice sole. Even though I'm in Maui, we actually have a lot of hunters here, and we have a lot of different varying topography. So it goes from beach at 0 level, and then we have the mountain of Haleakala, which is 10,000 feet, and it is really cold up there. So all different kinds of terrain here. I sell to a couple of the municipalities that do work up in the forest on fixing fence lines, eradicating animals, things like that. So I have all kinds of requirements for my customers. Is the sole rugged? How's the non-slip factor? Of course, waterproof. Virtually everything I carry, I get it in the waterproof, because even if it's a work boot or a hunting boot, whatever, inevitably you're gonna hit some water, and I want my feet to stay dry. So anyway, let's get back to the Pronghorn. They come with their own laces. As far as getting replacement laces, I definitely recommend to everybody to pull your laces out and measure them before you buy new laces. Because even though on the package it'll say, well, how many of these eyelets does it have? And I'll look on here and it might say I need an 84-inch length, but really it's going to call for 106 inches. So anyway, I just recommend you doing that before you trial and error. And even though Amazon's really great with returns, and so is Danner, they're fantastic. It's just kind of a hassle if you can avoid going to the post office. So this Pronghorn, it does come with a camouflage pattern if that's what you like. I believe it's the Real Tree and the Mossy Oak pattern in case you want to match your gear. This, of course, is waterproof, full grain leather and a nylon upper. I think it has a really nice, it has kind of a low profile in the ankle, so you're still getting some cushioning, but it's not so bulky that it's hard to maneuver and bend. One of the things that I love, well, we'll move on to that in a minute, but all right, so this has got the rugged hardware for a secure fit. All of Danner's hardware is guaranteed for a year. They have a year warranty against defects, so Danner makes it easy to try to return things, especially if it's defected. They don't give you a hassle, but you do want to hold on to your receipt. So just keep it easy for yourself. All right, so this also has a plastic shank, so you can, you know, climb across the logs and things like that and still keep up that support. You know, foot fatigue, as you guys know, carrying your heavy packs inland, you know, after a long day, it's in a boot like this, there's so much relief. It really relieves the fatigue factor. All right, so it's got other great things, a stability board for the underfoot, reduced weight. It has some forefoot flex, which is nice. And the Vibram Pronghorn outsole offers superior traction on a rugged terrain. I would totally agree. It's a Vibram sole. You know, some guys really love their Vibram soles. I have to say, you know, Danner does some Vibram and some Danner technology. It's all good. You know, Danner has done their research. They invented Gore-Tex. Isn't that amazing? So they really test their shoes for waterproof. They're really great with that. So I'd say anything that they've come up with, you can really bank on it. It doesn't have to be the Vibram sole. So here we go. Another thing about this boot that I like, I'm going to show you mine. Now they don't make this boot right now. And if you have your hands on the HIghground, this is my own personal HIghground. As you can see, I've given it lots of wear. I've got to make sure I love my boot, and I actually use this on the farm. We have, you know, a home farm, and so that's really great. It's great I use it for shoveling, you know, when I'm doing the really hard work, when we're cleaning out the big brush in the back, and I want some protection. Now, I've also hiked in this boot, and one of the wonderful things is that when you first put it on, same with a boot like this, it's going to feel like a ski boot, and because it's so thick and there's not like a lot of mobility in the ankle. But what it is really great for is at the end of the day, you notice it the most because you can just kind of you know, skip across the big boulders, and you'll realize, at least I did, that I was like, wow, my feet feel good. I have so much ankle support. I am not worried about my ankles twisting and collapsing on me. So once you get used to that feel of that stiffer boot, you know, I mean, it's so lightweight, it's waterproof. They're all waterproof and lightweight. My customers are going to require all the same from everything. So I make sure that they meet those qualifications. If you get a chance to buy the HIghground in your size, I say jump on it because you can't get them anymore, and especially for the men. So that's a really great boot. I hope they bring it back. As far as the fit goes on this Pronghorn, basically for Danner products, in my opinion, length is always consistent. If you've worn an 11 in a Danner once, you'll wear it again. Same with 11 halves. They're really accurate, I think. As far as the width goes, this Pronghorn is a little more narrow than their last version, but it's still pretty wide. However, I order everything in wide. Everything you see behind me, I order in the double E. Most of Danner's sizing, it goes from, in the men's, it's usually 7 to sometimes 15 in the medium. In the wides, it's usually 8 to 13. So I've had some customers, I specialize with clients with big feet, and sometimes with them, I have to, they're really looking for the 14s and the 15s, and it's kind of hard to find. So keep that in mind. The Pronghorn, so I sell this to some of the departments that work in the forestry, and they really like it. They're back on the lava rock, which is, you know, really sharp, and you know, they need the extra layers. But I am kind of moving them into this other new boot, which I hadn't intended about talking about, but I think I will. I'm going to incorporate it today. As far as this one goes, like I said, I think it's got a pretty thin, even though it's protected and it holds, it's thin, it's kind of lightweight for a heavier boot, okay, for an 8-inch especially. This is the Pronghorn. Now I'm going to go ahead and move into this other boot. This one in particular, I'm really glad that I remembered to talk about this because this is called the Crucial. And it's really considered more of a work boot, but to me it is a great hunting boot, especially if you're in areas where you've got that really rough rock and rock terrain. I'm actually encouraging my customers that are doing that kind of work back there to step it up to this one, because it has multiple layers of this full grain leather, which is really tough leather. It's got this really nice rubber toe guard. It also has the protection on the back. So, I mean, it would be a lot to beat this boot up. I will say that another reason why I'm, recommending it, and I actually had them try it on yesterday and they loved it. He's like, oh, this is great. They've all got wide feet. They love this because it's still really wide. He said it was lightweight. But these customers also jump out of the helicopters, or they're delivered to some of these locations, these remote locations, by helicopter. And the requirement for their policy is that they have all leather because it's more fire retardant. So this is, I think, where we're going to take it for them. And, it's they're working in it every single day. So they've got to have it comfortable. It needs to be able to break in well. I've seen these guys break in the boots that they've bought from me before, so I know it's got to last. I've very rarely ever seen a boot come unglued from Danner, but they do have a 1-year warranty against defects. So defect means that something wasn't right when they manufactured it. It doesn't mean that you've worn a hunting boot in your work site and beat the heck out of it, and now the sole's coming undone and you want to get it refunded. That doesn't qualify. So anyway, so here we go. These are really great. Now, one other thing is that, and I'm going to I'll mention it with the Pronghorn. These boots are made to fit everybody, right? So if you want to personalize this boot and you're going to be wearing it a lot, especially for the guys working in them all day, then I always recommend that you upgrade and add a Power Step Orthotic. It doesn't have to be the Power Step. It's just, in all of my years of helping people with troubled feet, this is the best one I've found for the price and for the longevity. I stand on concrete floors all day and I wear them in my shoes. I have them in my running shoes and I probably replace them once a year. But what I like about them is that they have a bit of an arch support, but it doesn't fill up the boot too much. And it also gives you the chance to let your heel drop, which is how you stretch your calf. And you really can relieve things like plantar fasciitis and certain foot issues. So I really recommend investigating it at least. All right, and also, how would I care for these boots? This boot is leather, full grain leather upper. So I guess off the bat, the other thing about the Pronghorn I want to address is that the Pronghorn also comes in insulated inserts, or the lining is insulated. They go from 400 grams to 1,200 grams, and they really don't add too much weight to it. So, here in Hawaii, even though it's cold up country, I don't do much of the insulated boots. But if you are on the mainland, and I know you've got winter coming right now, of course you can step it up to, and it's usually about $10 extra per level of insulation that you're moving in. So great. So with that, if you are in the snow country, we've got a snow seal, which helps to waterproof your boots. It's very much like a Vaseline, and you coat your shoe with it and let it soak in. They also have a Danner waterproofing boot care. This is a spray, okay? And then they also offer it with the dauber. Then you can also do a lighter treatment, which is the Cadillac Shield. This is more like a Scotchgard. One thing though is that as I mention all the time in my waterproofing precautions, is that you really can't waterproof a boot that isn't already waterproof. You can help deter the impacts of the wet terrain around you. For instance, some of these let the water kind of roll off of it like a wax. But if the boot's not waterproof, you just I'm not going to guarantee you that they're going to waterproof your boots. So I think that's a very generous word, but it does help in prolonging the life. Okay, so now let's say you've been out there, you've worn your boot, it's all wet, and well, you've brought it home and let it dry. Then the best way to treat it, and I think especially if you're in an area that you don't have to worry about mold, we have mold here. So in our area, if you happen to have the dry weather boots, then I recommend an oil. This is really easy for people that don't have a lot of time and they just feel guilty about not taking care of their boots, but they really want to. So I say buy the Neat's Foot Oil, and then get yourself just some recycled jar or Tupperware dish with a dedicated brush. I recommend this for people that work, if you have a lot of dust, concrete, drywall, it dries out your boots. So you really want to add some moisture back in. It's ideal if you can at least dust off the dust, but if not, just take this, cover everything, cover the laces, cover the stitching. It's a great thing to do. Now, if you don't want to go the oil route, which is not my personal favorite, I basically use it for contractors and people that come in for a boot resoling or something. But I really like this Cadillac boot and shoe leather lotion. It's just the most amazing thing. I've used this to restore super old, Harley bike seats that have been out in the sun and they're just cracked and crusty. And I love this stuff. I wish they made this miracle cure for skin. Bye-bye wrinkles. No. Anyway, so it's really great. It actually not only protects, it helps prevent mold from growing in your boots. So it's kind of a cleaner / moisturizer. So I really like that. Then Danner has come out with they've got this really great boot dressing. And it's in these little jars, 4-ounce jars. And it's basically, it's super easy. Like they say, apply liberally using a soft cloth onto the clean, dry boots. Rub into the leather and the seams. It's this. What I like about it is I think it's a combination of our old school repair techniques, which was a cream and a wax. And basically that's what it's doing. And you just rub it into the boot. And that's what I'd probably do over the snow seal. And that's like putting Vaseline on your boot, and it's okay, but I don't know. I have some forestry guys that buy these by the half dozen, so somebody really likes them. I like the effects of the conditioner. If your boots come unglued, I also have some Amazon Live videos on how to glue your shoes. So I use the Master Cement. It's something that's handy to have in stock. It comes with a brush in the lid. So that's a great thing to have. And so now let's go ahead and move on. That was the Pronghorn. And now we're going to go into the Vital. So this is the Vital. This is probably my number one boot that I promote to the everyday kind of casual hunter. Not every day. You're the more casual hunter, somebody that just maybe it's you're just doing day hikes or maybe on the weekends or something like that. It's super lightweight. I'm going to read a little bit about it. This one is all textile upper. Of course, the Gore-Tex waterproof breathable lining. People are always afraid that these waterproof linings are hot, but Danner, just like I said, really has mastered the technique. Speed hook lacing system, cushioning open cell ortholite footbed, midsole lasting support and rebound, fiberglass shank, and a grippy traction for uneven terrain. So a little less aggressive on the sole as far as like the difference between these two. This one's definitely more aggressive. This one's not as much, but still very slip resistant. I like that because I'm not so secure on the more wet rocks and stuff like that. So I like to really feel confident. This is one of those Danner soles I was telling you about. And I don't know, I kind of might even like it more than some of the Vibrams. It's got a little bit more of a rubbery texture to it. It is super lightweight. This one that I have here is 51 ounces. It's really light. Like they said, they've got the thin laces on these. And Danner does, you know, resell the laces. This one is calling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the eyelets. So you'd probably go with a 72 inch. But again, I would take the laces out and I would measure them first. How would I care for this boot? This is all synthetic. It tells me it can be stretched a little bit with a blow dryer if you're careful, because it's plastic, so that's nice. It doesn't really need a whole lot of anything. I'd say just keeping it clean, you know, nothing on this really deteriorates. It's a fabric. If you happen to accidentally, you know, cut it on a fence line or something, and, you know, if your cobbler, depending on what your cobbler charges, you can have them put a patch on it, and you can save your boot. So anyway, this is it's probably one of the more fair priced. Prices always change. But, you know, this is a really reasonable boot, and I think it'd be great. So I get a lot of clients whose kids, they want to take their boys with them. So great starter boot. I really like it. All right, so you could do, you know, on that one, if I put a treatment on it, I probably would do the waterproofing and the spray. That would be really great. Yeah, so super. Let's put the crucial back. Okay, so that's really great. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, let's see here. So the sharp tail, let me grab this. This is considered one of Danner's hunting boots. I actually kind of sell it as a work boot. It looks like the Bull Run mock toe with this here, but it's got this awesome back zip on it. You know, so for easy in and out. There we go. All right, so you know, it's got a really nice thin lining. Let's see how they say about it. 4025. It's got 51 ounces. Waterproof, full grain leather, yes. Rear zipper, Gore-Tex, of course. Rugged hardware, the Orthotic footbed, and it does have a shank on the bottom of it, so that's again really nice. I think when you're climbing, you know, over trees and stumps and stuff like that. So this is really great. I would definitely treat this boot, and again, I think I would stick with the boot and shoe leather lotion for these guys. Really like this boot. I'll kind of give you a little closer look to it. See there? Got that? All right. And the sole. So real thin inside. It doesn't, the padding, it's not very thick, so it's nice. All right. Now let's go ahead and move on. The Sharp Tail offers a boot that's very similar to that the Pronghorn. It has the mock toe. So to me, it's like if I bought the Sharp Tail, I'd probably do it in this version with the mock toe. All right, now we're gonna move on to Danner's sister company, and it's called Lacrosse. Lacrosse was originally out of Wisconsin, so they are all about waterproof boots. If you haven't been there, it's very marshy, very wet lands, and very cold in the winter. So Lacrosse has really, in my opinion, I think they are higher in the price tier, but they are so high quality. So one of the pull-on, actually this one is not in the catalog, but I ordered it because it's so great. Like, I think this is a really great replacement for that HIghground boot that I have. And this is called the this one is called the Clear Shot, and the price point is awesome. It's probably the least expensive of all the boots I'm showing you, and I think it might be the best as far as durability goes. It's just got this really thick leather on the front. Super durable. I can feel it in the, I don't know how much this weighs, but it feels kind of light, but yet really durable. It's got the padded ankle, which is nice. It's definitely waterproof. We've got the Mossy Oak. Let's move that, show you the boot. So it's got this Mossy Oak print on it. Just fantastic. I love this boot. So how would I care for this one? Again, it's the combination of the leather and the material. So I probably would start again with the Danner boot care, the waterproofing. And that would be my first treatment. And then I would just treat the leather with the boot and shoe leather lotion. And you really only need that all around this leather here just to help keep it protected. If you wanted to, you could use the boot dressing on it, which is nice because it's got that part wax in here, so that once you put the conditioner on, this wax, it kind of holds the moisture in. And you have to reapply it every, couple of months, depending on how much you're using your boots. If you're hunting all the time, then I'd recommend that. Again, Lacrosse has the same warranty that Danner does, and it is a 1 year against defects. You can't always find these matching laces here like this, but you could go with a general, they've got a regular black. I don't think they have a regular brown. They have the mustard, but Cadillac does sell laces in 106 inches, which you need to know because Danner does not. So some boots take that 106, and they're the same thing. It's a rope lace. All right, so isn't that a cool boot? I really like it. Okay, so we have that. Then we have something else that I sell really well here. Is this? This is the Alpha. No, actually, we'll go to the Alpha Burley. This is, I only carry a few of these, but I think for you guys on the mainland, this is the Alpha Burley. And, it's kind of a pricey boot, but it is such an awesome boot. This one happens to be insulated up to 1,000, and so I sell this randomly, guys going to the mainland and they want to have all their gear already set up. So that's what I offer it for. This is the Mossy Oak print. It's a big boot, but it's cool. It's got great traction on here, and so I have clients that are like, "Oh, I wish I had that boot," but it's only in the insulated that I carry. So very nice. But I like these because they have the adjustable straps here, and when they're adjustable like this, you're able to roll them down. In case it's hot outside, you're able to get a little bit of breeze in there, but this is a breathable lining. I'm just going to read it to you because this is one of their major boots that they sell. And I think, you can go different types of insulation. They go from 0 to 70 degrees, which would be here. This one is the 1,000. So this is below 60 to 30 degrees. That's what they're recommending. This is that boot. And this is the one with just the 1,000. And boy, they fit very wide. So, and it's got the removable footbed. So you can add a power step, right? Personalize your boot to make it comfortable for you for that all day wear. So the power steps and the sizing for power steps is exactly the same as your foot. So if you are a 10 or a 10.5, that's what they would offer it's 10 and 10.5 in the same pair. And the halves, you can always trim them down if you need to cut down the toe space. The support's really right here. So awesome boot. I love it. It's just got so much great traction on it. It's got this, an active fit with an adjustable neoprene gusset for easy on-off and a comfortable fit. Just a super awesome boot. I love it. Then I have this boot. This is the next one, and I really like this one. This is called the Alpha Agility. And here we're seeing this, and I believe this is the Mossy Oak as well. Yeah, Mossy Oak. That's the print. And this boot is really great. I got this in the non-insulated, and I carry all the sizes. Mine go from size 7 to size 14. And I sell this here. It's listed as a hunting boot, but I sell it as a farming boot because we get a lot of people that farm out here. And like even taro, if you've ever heard of poi is made from the taro plant. It's grown in water, and even when you get mid-levels of elevation up here on our Haleakala mountainside, It's wet. Where I live, it's a very wet and rainy season. So when we're working on the farm in the rainy season, great boot to have. Again, it's got this adjustable strap back here, so you can open, you can, turn it down and give yourself a little more breathability. You can also change out the insoles on these and personalize them. So my fiance's done that. He likes these. We can, have in the replay, I'm going to post a picture of him working the farm in these. He's my guinea pig. I try everything out on him because he gives me the real deets. He tells me exactly how it is. So I like that. Anyway, but I also serve so many customers that I've gotten a lot of feedback to know what seems to be working for the general population. So I think that this, of course, there's really nothing you can do to take care of it more than it is. It's waterproof. It's got a synthetic upper. So just, I guess, keeping it clean. It's got pretty thick tread, so you do get mud in the tread. But, you're probably kicking them off at the door anyway. So there we go. Now, I've pretty much covered everything except for women's hunting boots. And what I do, because Danner right now primarily offers their ladies' boots in a medium width. And, the easiest thing to do for you gals with a wide foot, hello, that's me. I step it up and I go into the men's. So I'm a size 9 woman's. I buy the 7 men's, and that's what this was. This was the men's. And I would have liked the women's because it had the pink lettering on it, but whatever, it fits, it's great. Now the issue is they don't make this boot anymore, so what do I suggest to the ladies? Well, this would be my next suggestion. And this is actually part of their tactical line, but it's such a great boot. I mean, it's lightweight, it's got a lightweight but still some ankle support. It is waterproof, and I've brought them in all the way down to size 5 in men's. So a 5 in men's would be a 7 women's, and I do carry the half sizes because it makes a difference. And you probably want to try these on. I've had gals tell me that they're a 9, and really I've had to, step them up into a different size. So if you can try them on, I would suggest that, just for the ladies. When it comes to the men, and this boot is great. It runs true to size. I usually just carry the whole sizes, and I buy them in the wide, the double E. And for sure, this boot, because, I'm not doing major hunting, even my hikes are pretty mild for the most part, but I'd still want them to look cute. So I would, and of course this color is great for lengthening the leg. And it's funny because the girls come in and they want to look cute. They're going out with their guy for a day hike. The guy does it all the time and she's going along for the weekend. So it's funny. So what I would do for this, if you're that person, guy or gal, I would definitely waterproof it first. And I would do something more like the Scotch Guard. The Scotch Guard, it's so light, it doesn't leave droplets on the boot, it doesn't damage it, you can't tell that it's on it, but it does protect it. And this is waterproof already, so we're really just trying to keep the nubuck clean. So anyway, that's really great. And it's great for carrying a day pack. I mean, these are meant for the military, these guys that are carrying heavy packs in the desert and working all day long. And so that's what this boot is meant for. It's got agility, it's a non-slip, and it's got your ankle support. So I really like that. And if it got dirty and kind of, you want to clean them up, I always recommend the Lincoln Easy Suede Cleaner. It's what I use in my business. I buy it by the gallon. And it's got these little crystals in there that actually help lift the dirt to the surface. So you would put it in a dish, take a fingernail brush and just apply it directly, you suds it up, and then you take a towel and pat it dry to wipe away the dirt. And that's how it works, and then you just let it dry. And then of course you could spray it again with some Scotch Guard. So that's what I'm suggesting going forward into at least spring, because they really don't have much coming out for the gals right now. Most everything is medium width. They're kind of out of stock until December. So if you're really in need, go with one of the Tfx is what this is called. All right. So there we go. I also wanted to offer a couple more options that aren't considered their hunting. So in case you're just Googling hunting boots, you might want to step out and look at some of their work boots. For instance, this is one of my favorite boots overall, work and hunt. It's got, I'll give you another example here while I'm doing this. Let's see here, right here. Okay, we're going to take a look at these guys because we've got a little bit of time, so we're going to still spend some time together here. And this is kind of fun. Okay, so this is a logger. Okay, it's got that high heel on it. And this is meant for a guy in the mountains logging. Okay, I get a lot of the electric company buys this for those guys that are working on the phone lines. This is their favorite. But I'm referencing the fact that it's great in the mountains, okay? This is called the Super Rainforest. Really super hard to get your hands on this. This is made primarily the factory, and this is in the Portland factory. The Portland factory gets completely booked a season ahead of time. I believe it's the New Zealand military that buys this boot. So if you can find them online and you like them, grab them. Otherwise, you might need to put in a special request for them. Super great boot. What makes this so great? It's really heavy. It's hard to break in, but it's got 3 layers of leather throughout here. Just everything is beefed up on it. It's got the Vibram lug sole. This is a heavy duty sole. I use this in my shoe repair business for guys. So just a really solid boot. This boot I sell to some parts of the Department of Land and Natural Resources, and they're working in the Forestry and Wildlife Division. So these are the guys that are getting helicoptered back in. And if they're in the really rugged stuff, I mean, it gets really rugged up there, this is the boot that they're going to be in. So again, waterproof, slip resistant, great on heavy duty rocks, right? It's a lifetime shoe. It's repairable. This is stitch down technology, so you can send them back to Danner, and Danner will sole it for you and change. They'll fix the lining. They do all this really great stuff, and I actually in the replay I'm going to post a picture that one of my clients sent about his boots, and they're like super old, and just still he loves them. Got them in his closet. So. But you can keep this around for years, 25, 30 years if you take care of it. A boot like this or a boot like this, you can use the conditioner, the water, you can use every single one of these products on it, provided, just whatever choice you decide to make on it. If you go to get either of these repaired, cobblers can do it, I can do it, but I don't want to do it because Tanners are so well made that you still have to take off the whole sole to put in a midsole. It's just a complicated thing, and Danners are so well put together. I just tell the client, when you're ready, send it to Danner. They're going to use the same lasts and form that they use to make the boot, so it's going to feel great, and you still have your broken in upper. They're not going to ruin that. So that's the Super Rainforest, okay? It's a pretty pricey boot, good solid boot, but we're still talking hunting, right? So you probably don't need that for hunting. But this boot is a really nice alternative. This can be used, as I said, as a work boot or a hunting boot. It's light in weight. It's so easy. I just love this boot. This is and it comes with or without a safety toe, depending. My fiance, this is his very favorite boot of all of them. And he does it with a safety toe in the 8-inch. And he uses this, especially when he's out, cutting down the tree, you know, that kind of heavy duty work. He even uses it in his daily business. So he's, you know, kind of the jack of all trades. So he's a great guinea pig. Anyway, so this is his favorite boot, and it's kind of medium range in price. This is called the Workman. But it's kind of a nice alternative in case you don't want something that's in the camouflage, etc. You know, it's just a little more average, everyday, waterproof. I love that. So great, we did it. Oh yeah, one last thing, because it makes a big difference. I have these in my workshop, but these are all of the Danner socks. And their socks do not suck. They are awesome. Merino wool. This is called the dry release. They're offered in the low rise, the crew, and then over the calf. For here, because it's medium temperatures here, I'm going to recommend these for my clients. Mostly it's the lightweight. And then for the pretty serious hunters, and I get them that go every single weekend, they're gone all weekend, I sell them the midweight hunt, and it also comes in the 3 different heights, but this one's really nice. It's merino wool, it's almost cushioning, and it has moisture wicking to it, so it's really meant to keep your feet dry and comfortable. Then we have the Tfx Drymax. Actually, what I like this sock for is for the more the employees. You know, a person that's going to be in their boot every day. Although the guys from the forestry and wildlife, I'll put them in this thicker, more durable one. But if you're going to do a nice warm weathered, you know, kind of a dry hike, I'd recommend going this route. You know, have a couple of choices in your drawer, you know. And then I've got these really cute ones. These are the 3/4 midweight hike socks. And this is what they look like. I use these as samples in the store for my clients to try. And this Tfx Drymax, it also comes in the black. So I recommend these. You know, I get a lot of, you know, either the law enforcement, security guards, stuff like that. People, maybe kitchen crews. They all have to wear black, so I recommend the Drymax. It keeps your feet dry, so this is really great. And now we're finished. I covered it all, and it was so great to be with you. When you get a chance, if you have a chance, comment down below as to where you're watching this from. Last week I got a gentleman from Oklahoma that sent me an awesome message. I love knowing where you're from. Somebody else was from Scotland, so I love sharing with you guys. Thank you so much. And if you are watching this on the replay, remember to subscribe and like my channel. And you can also follow me here on Amazon Live, where you will find my show live every Thursday and Friday, 9 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time. Thanks for supporting me. When you shop on my Amazon shopping cart, you also support my live channel and my YouTube studio. So mahalo means thank you, and thank you to all of you from Maui, Hawaii. Oh, and hi Mom, if you're watching. From Maui, aloha.